Skylark Outdoors here, and welcome aboard. Today we're going to take you on a little boat ride to one of my favorite hidden gems and this beautiful secret beach behind us. So we're going to show you what is so special about this beach, but it has some of the largest sand dunes that you're going to see in the United States. And my favorite part of this beach is that it's got beautiful crystal clear water. Now stick around to the end, we're going to tell you where it's at, but let's take you on a little tour first and show you some of the cool stuff about this beach and why it's a hidden gem. So stick around and we'll tell you where it's at. What better way to get to a hidden gem of a beach than on a beautiful boat ride? So that's what we're going to do. But don't worry, you can also get there by foot, bike, and or car. It's just that boat is the way to float. So you can see we've got the beautiful emerald clear waters here. And on top of that beautiful water, we've got beautiful sunsets. So where could this beach be? North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia? Well, you're going to be surprised to find out that not only is this beach probably closer to you than you think, but it is also 100% shark-free. And I can personally guarantee that it has been shark-free for over 100 years with a special system that not a lot of people know about. So when you look at this beach, you can see on the left we've got some beautiful sand dunes with pine trees, and you've got water on the right, and then crystal clear sand that is beautiful to put your feet in and walk around. Now you might wonder, where could this be? Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. It is in the United States, and you can drive to this beach, but it is on a coast. So we've narrowed it down a little bit, and maybe you can start to guess where this is, but we're going to take you on a tour while you try and put together where this beach could be. Now, this beach is one of my favorites for both sunsets, swimming, and just hanging out on the beach. And the reason is you've got wonderful sand to lay out on and sink your feet into. The swimming is excellent because, once again, no sharks, and the water is clean and clear. Now, in terms of sunset, it does face west, so that's going to narrow down even some more of the beaches that you may think about. It's got to face west, so that's going to eliminate a lot of East Coast beaches that you may be familiar with. Now, what else does this beach have that makes it so great? Well, you've got the great water to swim in, but there are also some amenities on this beach that you may not be familiar with. There is actually a boathouse where you can rent some kayaks, you can rent a inflatable paddleboard, and you can even get a snack to eat like an ice cream or a hot dog. But on top of that, this beach has something that is very unique. You can actually camp on this beach, or actually behind it, and then you could walk to the beach in the morning from your campsite. A beautiful way to wake up with a campfire, then walk over to the beach for a nice dip in the water. But on top of that, it has something that a lot of other beaches don't have. It's got sand dunes that are over 100 feet tall, and from this video, it doesn't look like they're that tall, but trust me, once you get there, I would challenge you to run up those dunes, and I would guarantee you'd be out of the breath by running up them. They are much steeper and much taller than they look from here, because we are currently offshore riding in a boat through the bay to look at this beach. And you can see there are some cars in the background. This is the most crowded area of the beach where the amenities are. However, this beach during certain times of year is almost 100% empty, and even during the busiest times of the year, there are some hidden spots on this beach where if you walk just a little ways, you're going to have that beach pretty much all to yourself, or the sand dunes to yourself, which are a ton of fun to run around in. I've had a lot of time going up and down the sand dunes and just walking through them, and the trails are beautiful. So you've got water, you've got sand dunes, a little bit of amenities, a campground, and there are also a few hiking trails here, as well as there is actually a bike path that goes right by here, and you can bike around in the park, but you can also bike around the area that is near this park, and you'll be right along the water. So as we continue here, you can see the beachgoers kind of thin out as we move along this beach. And I'm going to give you the secret right now where this beach is, and then I'm going to tell you why I think this is a great little trip. So if I tell you where it is, please don't leave right now. Give us that thumbs up, subscribe, and keep watching the video. And I trust you that you will stick around and I'm going to make it good for the remainder of this viewing session. So this beach is actually located less than 4.5 hours from Metro Detroit. So if you know where it is, put it in the comments below now if you guessed it. This beach is actually the Petoskey State Park Beach. And what I love about this beach is that you can get to it by boat and you can tie up your boat in the sandbar and swim in and enjoy the beach. Or you can walk there, you can camp there, or you can just drive, park right at the beach near that clubhouse area that we showed you earlier, or you can take the bike trails, which is beautiful. Each method of transportation to this beach gives you a unique view of it. If you take the bike path, there's a little cut through that's going to take you through a wooded area. If you take your car, it's a nice scenic drive along the lake. But in the boat is my favorite way to go, because then you can hit some of the other beautiful things that are in this bay. So the Petoskey State Park is located in Little Traverse Bay, just outside Petoskey, and it's actually in between Petoskey and Harbor Springs. It is a beautiful beach along Lake Michigan, and that is why there is no sharks. There are no sharks, as far as I know of, in Lake Michigan, and there have been no reported sharks ever in Lake Michigan. It's got 2 modern campgrounds and trails, and it's located just northeast of Petoskey and a little bit to the south of Harbor Springs. Now, there's a named sand dune in the park, and that's one of the dunes that you don't even see from this video. That sand dune is actually a little bit further back, and it's called the Old Baldy Trail, and it is really steep and really tall, but I recommend going up there. If you're in there in the spring or fall, you're going to get a beautiful view because all the leaves are down. In the summertime, there's still a view, but it's a little bit less. Now, this park is actually located on the Little Traverse Wheelway, which is a bike path that you can go pretty much all the way from Charlevoix, which is 20 or so miles away, through Petoskey to the state park, and then you could go to Harbor Springs. Or if you wanted to be really wild, you could take that wheelway all the way up to the Mackinac Bridge and back, but I'm sure your legs would be probably tired after that. Now, something that people don't know about this is that there is actually piping plover habitat at the Petoskey State Park. So your pets are allowed at the state park, however, they are not allowed at the beach because they're trying to protect those piping plovers. But there are other beaches in Petoskey you can go to with your pets. So if you want to learn about that, please put down in the comments where you want to learn to go with your pets in Petoskey. Now, what makes this beach so wonderful and what I love about it is that you have a beautiful sunset views that are equivalent to anywhere else where you've got a west-facing sunset. And a lot of times I think better because the water is so clear in Little Traverse Bay. Now, this video is right after a storm, so there's a little bit of sediment kicked up. However, typically you can see 20 to 35 feet of visibility. So if you're in a boat or you're just swimming around, a lot of times if you were in 30 feet of water, you could see all the way down to the bottom if there hasn't been a storm or wind or waves kicking up the dust. And as we continue on this beach, you can see as we go further and further, look at all those beautiful trees and pine trees. There is almost no one on this stretch of beach, and this is all part of the Petoskey State Park Beach. So if you don't want to be at a crowded beach and you want to have your own little space to have a wonderful beach day, you can absolutely do that at the Petoskey State Park because of how big this beach is. Now, you may have to walk a little bit to get there, or you can take a bike to get there, but once you find your spot, you're going to find that you have a lot of privacy and ability to just have a nice unencumbered beach day. But if you want all the amenities, I recommend you stay right next to that beach shack that has some bathrooms in it, changing rooms, and then also has stuff like ice cream, hot dogs. I think they've got chips, and you could rent a paddleboard if you want to get out there and paddleboard on the bay, or if you want to go for a little kayak ride. Now, if you do plan on boating here, I recommend tying up or anchoring your boat at the southeast end of the beach. That's a nice spot there where there's a little bit less traffic, but it's also a little bit more protected, just how the bay is shaped in Little Traverse Bay. So you put your anchor out there and go for a swim or go meet your friends on the beach and have a wonderful time there. Now, if you've never been to Petoskey or northern Michigan, the best time to come is, I think, around July or August, early September. The water in June, you absolutely can come. It's a lovely time to come if you want to get away from the heat wherever you're at, because it's going to be a little bit cooler. But the water doesn't typically start to heat up that much until July, unless we've got a really warm spring or a really warm early season where the lake didn't freeze. So sometimes it's a little bit warmer, but in June the average temperature, at least in my experience, is somewhere around 60 degrees. So it's very refreshing on an 80-degree day to jump in 60-degree water. However, not everybody is into that kind of water, but once you get to July, that water temperature is typically up over 70 degrees. However, storms can make it a little bit cooler or a little bit warmer depending on the weather. So overall, I think this is a great beach to come visit, one that you could go camp at. So if you want to go camping and have a place to stay, absolutely look into that. But I would recommend you look at the reservations before you get there, because this is a much more popular beach than you might think, and there are limited spaces. So as the years go by, this becomes more and more desirable as people find out about this hidden gem of a beach with no sharks, beautiful sunsets, crystal clear water, and beautiful white sand. But best of all, you can actually find Petoskey stones here, and if you don't know what those are, take a look down in the description below. We're going to tell you what those are and how to find them. They are a special type of stone only found in Petoskey. So thanks for watching. Give us that thumbs up, and of course subscribe if you want more outdoors content from Skylark Outdoors. Thank you.